Welcome to the Midwest Game Nerds podcast. I'm your host, John. Here with me today is Brian.
Hey.
And Alex.
Hello.
Right off the bat, having trouble talking.
Off to a good start.
I know. Today we're going to talk about The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild DLC, the fact that Brian bought an Oculus, and the Netflix Castlevania series, and we got a whole bunch of news. But before we get to any of that, I want you guys to all follow us and see us. If you want to, wow, I'm really killing it today.
You want to just start fresh?
No, we're good. I'm just going to leave it because I think it's funny.
All right.
I don't know if anybody else finds it funny. I find it funny.
I just think it makes you sound very unprofessional.
Yeah, it's fine. If you want to follow us on social media or see all the places that you can listen to or watch the show, check out MidwestGameNerds.com/links. And as always, we do really appreciate your feedback at MidwestGameNerds@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow us on Twitch as well as rate and review us on your favorite podcatcher. Twitch is down currently, so we'll be just doing this on YouTube today.
Yeah, I'll try to export the YouTube to the Twitch so it's up there at least.
Yeah.
But it will be on YouTube.
Yeah, so we'll figure that out. But anyways, what else has anybody been playing? Anything? I've only been playing Destiny. I'll start. I've been playing Destiny. I finally got an icebreaker.
Good job.
That's pretty much it. Yeah. I've done some more of my moments of triumph. I did preload the beta, which I'm ready for Tuesday.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
So,
yeah, if you've pre-ordered Destiny 2, you can preload the beta now, and you get to play it on Tuesday if you're on PlayStation.
On PS4, yeah.
At
Wednesday if
10
you're on
a.m.
Xbox.
Pacific time. I looked it up today.
And then everybody gets it starting Friday.
Right.
Except for PC people who get to wait a month.
Yeah. It's in late August.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's okay because the game's coming out a month later too.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh, well.
It looks beautiful, though. I've watched 4K 60
I've avoided
FPS footage.
as much of everything as possible going into this, because I just want to formulate my own opinions about all of it. I haven't even watched. I know IGN did a whole thing about it. I completely skipped all of that, and like Corey and Gladish have been watching all of that stuff, and I'm just like totally not. I'm like, nope, no thanks. I'm good.
Yeah, they're doing stuff all the way through the month of July.
Yeah, so I've just been skipping all of it because I don't want to spoil it. I know it's gonna be good. It's gonna be what I want. And I'm just going to let it happen.
I don't mind spoiling it because I know I'm going to be playing the same content like 1,000 times over. So
yeah,
what's the difference?
I guess.
Fair enough.
But yeah. So Brian, what else? What have you played?
So I don't know if I should talk about all the different VR titles I've played yet.
That'll be in your Oculus.
Yeah, we'll get to the Oculus
Okay.
segment.
Well, I played a bunch of different things there. And then, besides that, I think just a lot more... PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds.
You feel like you're getting better?
Oh, yeah, I'm definitely better. Like, I actually consistently get kills.
Yeah.
And it's very rare in solo or duos to not get at least above the... Like, I would say at least in the top 30% every time.
Right on.
But a lot of times in the top 10. Second place is the best I've done on my own.
Yeah.
I always get unlucky at the end, and I just can't seal the deal. But it's a lot of fun.
Hiding in the wheat field, waiting for people to pop up.
I mean, every game's just so different how it ends up playing out.
Yeah.
The end part of it is probably the least unique thing. Like, yeah, you usually end up in a field. But sometimes it's like there's one building that everybody's trying to get at the end. That happened to us the other day. And that really changes things. But
do you feel like you have to change your strategy every time?
Yeah, I mean, depending on where the circles are going to end up, like what the geography is like, changes it up a lot. Like,
is the geography like randomly generated too?
No, but the location. So as the map constricts each round, each instance that it constricts, it will randomize somewhere within the previous circle of where it is. Okay. So the final circle, or not the final, but the smaller the circle gets, it can be in a completely different location from the previous game that you played.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Plus, the plane takes different paths. Like, there's one plane that everyone jumps out of. And depending on which direction it's going will kind of decide where you can land.
Right.
And sometimes we land, like, really far away from everyone and know that there's vehicles there, like a boat or something, and then we go all the way back to where we're going to need to be, like where the circle's going to be and where everyone's going to be. For the most part, though, I mean, I guess the only really repetitive part of it is you're always trying to get gear, but there's different approaches to that. Like, sometimes I just grab a few things like I did today when I was playing solo. I grabbed one gun and I immediately was just trying to kill other people to get more shit from them instead of doing the legwork myself. So that's fun, but it doesn't always work out that well.
Right on. Anything else or no? That's about it.
Yeah, I think we played Destiny a little bit. Oh yeah, I finally got Icebreaker the year.
Yeah, you did.
3-1.
We had the Corey buff.
Yeah, all three of us got it in this week, I think.
Yeah.
Can you like only get it through a certain activity?
Yeah.
Or no?
Through the you have to do the Nightfall
Sunrise.
the Sunrise bounty.
Yeah.
Which is the one where you have to beat the Nightfall strike in less than a half hour.
But it's RNG. Okay. Like either you can get the Icebreaker.
You either get it or you don't.
Or you get some other usually shitty legendary with my
And
luck.
is that every week?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can do it once a week with each character.
Okay.
So I got all three characters high enough to increase my chances, but it still took till this week to finally get it. I had it on Xbox. I got it like the first week, I think, on Xbox. This time I've tried it for like a month or more.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I'm like I think I'm kind of over Destiny finally. I mean, like I just want to play the second one now.
Yeah, that's fair.
I would like to go to the Lighthouse and Trials, but I somehow doubt that's going to happen with only like a month left.
You never know.
Because apparently they're ending it.
Yeah, it ends in August, right?
Yeah.
So it sounds like they're basically going to drop the live events.
Yeah.
As soon as
I guess that makes sense.
Right.
There's probably not enough.
Well, yeah, because there won't be. Well, the question is going to be like, how soon after the drop of the game are they going to have Trials ready to go?
If it's well, I don't know. That's a good question because
that's what everybody wants.
Trials wasn't even an original part of Destiny. It didn't come out till House of Wolves, I want to say.
Yeah, it was later in the game, but
that's because they didn't know what they were doing. They decided to come up with that after the fact. They just needed to put something in, and because they already had that roadmap that got leaked that was like, oh, the Trials of Osiris will be released in this time or whatever, and like everyone was like, oh, the Trials of Osiris must be like new story missions, but then they found out it was like competitive Crucible, and they were like, oh my god, like
Nico's on YouTube asking, is Trials in D2? Do we know yet?
We don't know anything about any competitive or ranked multiplayer yet. It's not going to be available at launch. We know that. So,
but I would be surprised if like Iron Banner and Trials didn't make it over to the new.
There will definitely be something like it.
Yeah.
But it won't be exactly the same format.
I feel like it could be.
From what they've said.
But, yeah, we don't know. We don't know yet.
I mean, everything's changing. Like, even Control is going to be slightly different.
I mean, I hope Trials comes back and they improve it from what it currently is.
Well, it's going to be 4v4. That much is
that's cool because I feel like
it'd be sweet
now that we have like a solid set of 4
that would be
to
pretty
play,
cool.
Like if the 4 of us
so we don't have to argue about who wants to sit out.
who has to sit out and do strikes by themselves.
Listen to me sulk.
Yeah.
It'd be sweet if they could figure it out so that there wouldn't be oh yeah, this is the Trials gun.
Right.
Like that sucks.
Yeah, that's what Icebreaker is.
Yeah.
And Wormwood, the sidearm of choice.
Yeah. I like Wormwood, but not that much. It's fun, but I don't know.
Forgot. Anyway, sorry, we're back live again. Please keep going.
All right. Anyways, wait. If it's full, what are we recording on now?
YouTube.
Oh, cool.
Great.
Sweet. Yeah. Anyways, I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, I was gonna say I don't even use I know a lot of people in Trials or like Crucible are still using like Truth or not Truth. God, I can't think straight right now. Not Thorn. Last Word. I see a lot of Last Word. I see a lot of Hawkmoon. So like hand cannons are like still really. I feel like every time I get killed in Crucible or Trials,
I think
because
it's more
of a hand cannon.
AS Luna.
AS Luna or
it
whatever.
It looks like a Hawkmoon, but
the
it's
micro
not.
Hawkmoon.
I love that gun.
I feel like I'm getting killed by hand cannons more often than not. So if they could, and I don't use hand cannons at all. I use scout rifles.
I wonder if they could employ modifiers in Trials to make that to make it more variable as to what the optimal is like week to week, so that it's not always just like.
Yeah, it'd be cool to have active
make it
modifiers.
so people have
like,
to use pulse rifles.
I need 3 self-res warlocks, and they all need icebreaker.
Yeah,
and
like
please make sure that you're wearing the purifier.
It could be a requirement that you have to use, like you have to use a hand cannon for this round of blah blah.
Something like that.
If it was like Prison of Elders, where each round had different modifiers, that would be kind of cool.
Just so that people don't fall into that groove of like everybody on this raid needs Galerhorn. Like just mix it up a bit. That'd be cool. But anyway, that's enough about Destiny.
Yeah, we can move on from that.
I've played a couple things. I played a VR game called Polybius. It's the new Jeff Minter game, the guy who made a game called Tempest a long time ago, and TXK, which is like a ring shooter where you're like in a ship that's shooting down a ring that you're speeding down kind of situation.
Yeah.
Polybius is kind of one of those, but it seems like every level that you succeed at changes the geometry of how things move. Like the first one is just a plane where you're moving left and right. The next one is like is a tube. I didn't get past the second one because the game moves so fucking fast that it's really, really hard.
Yeah.
But it's cool. It's very psychedelic. It's an interesting VR experience. I think it's like $15-$16 on PlayStation 4 right now. You can play it without VR, but obviously with VR is more psychedelic and cool. But it's fun, and if that seems like your kind of thing, you should check it out. There was a Splatoon 2 Splatfest kind of event / beta thing this weekend.
It was Splatfest is what it was called.
Yeah. And so the Splatfest these were events that they used to run with Splatoon where they would be like, all right, there's going to be 2 teams. This time it was who likes cake and who likes ice cream. So you picked which one you wanted.
Ice cream.
You get to that was the right answer. You get to wear a shirt that has your preference on it, and then you go and play multiplayer matches, and as you get points, you kind of award them or gain them for your team, the side that you chose, and then at the end of the weekend, whoever got the most wins. And
ice cream wins.
I think right. There's like a bonus if you're on the winning team, or like some kind of reward for doing that. But obviously with this like beta one, nothing carries over, so it didn't really give you anything. That game's still really hard. People still wipe the floor with me the entire time.
Yeah, because they played Splatoon.
Yeah, but I mean, I played a little bit of Splatoon. I just hope that the single player of Splatoon 2 really helps me get better at playing that game.
I think there's some kind of co-op too.
I think so. There's a salmon run that you can do, which is like a horde mode. Yeah, but I'm hoping that the first or the single player really gives you like the strategies and the ideas about like, here's how to best combat this type of weapon, and these are the strategies you should be using in these different rounds and that kind of thing. So hopefully that is true. But it was still fun, even though I lost. But it was great. Like even like my team, I don't know if they just like if the matchmaking is so good that it put me with a bunch of people that sucked. That's probably what happened. But yeah, that game's hard, and I'm looking forward to picking it up later this month.
Yeah,
just to
I'm
see
sure
what the
it'll
first
get
play is
easier
like.
when you get to play it for more than like an hour or two.
Yeah, exactly. Like if I get to more consistently play like a couple hours a day or something like that.
I'm looking forward to picking it up.
Yeah.
I feel like if you guys are getting it, I kind of have to.
I think you should.
Don't get it if you don't like it, but
yeah, I mean, if you actively don't like it, don't bother.
I just don't know what there is to dislike other than everyone being better than you at it.
I don't know. Like, I mean, I kind of dug ARMS, and I still haven't bought that.
Yeah.
Like, I haven't found. I'm turning into Joey, where like I don't want to buy games unless I know I'm gonna play the hell out of them.
And I mean, that's fair.
Like I bought Neo and I played the hell out of it.
That's a smart way to go, a smart and frugal way to go about playing video games.
Yeah, but when you have a video game podcast,
the downside is yes.
When you have a podcast about video games, you
probably play something more than Destiny.
I think
I feel like it's more interesting to have a podcast where you can talk about like video games in an excited manner than to talk about how bad a certain game is.
No, that could be fun too.
That's. I mean,
if it's
sometimes
so
you get
bad,
really excited about how bad something is.
If it's so bad, it's good. Cool, but I just like playing ARMS.
Yeah,
or playing when we did the Splatoon demo, like the Splatoon whatever they called it, test fire.
Yeah, yeah.
I just really didn't have much to say about it because I just didn't really care.
Remember that time we played The Order? That was fun to talk about.
Yeah, well, yeah, because we all we all hated it, and we were all
that's
pretty
the way
pumped
that things
about
go. I mean, none of us enjoyed watching.
Fortunately, I didn't
Transformers
spend
4,
any money on that.
We did it, and then we recorded an episode on Transformers 4, and everybody loved it because we had such a terrible time with it
but
that we tore it apart.
But a movie, you can pay for a movie matinee $7, whereas a game is $60.
Or you could go rent it, like I've been telling you ever since we started this podcast.
I don't know, man. Family Video is pretty far from here.
It's pretty far.
It's too far.
It's like $7.25. You get it for 5 days, and then that's the end of your commitment to it.
I don't know. We'll see.
Or you make the initial investment. Yes, it's a large investment to build a good PC, but then once you have that, you can get a lot of games for dirt cheap.
Yeah, but not the new ones.
Yeah, the new ones.
Within
a
couple months,
price.
they drop to
But
half price.
How does that help me
and
stay
stuff.
current with the podcast?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the eternal struggle. The struggle's real, man.
Anyway,
the video game struggle is real.
I've been playing a bunch of Friday the 13th still. I'm not going to talk too much about it because I feel like I've done too much of that.
Yep.
But we were having a bad week with it, just getting a lot of disconnects and hosts leaving once they get caught by Jason and that kind of crap. But then we finally had, towards the end of the week, had a few games that were just ridiculous that I already told most people about, or we actually found a good group of people that were playing the game well and not being dicks about it. So it's still good. I just feel like they need to figure out ways to punish people who don't play the game properly.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, you can't. You kind of can't get mad at people for exploiting specific things in the game, that are they're set up that way. I don't know. You can't get mad at people for playing a game. You can get mad at people for doing stupid shit.
Well, but no, the getting mad at people, basically, we had a Jason that was so terrible that he rage quitted before people got rewarded their experience right at the end of the match. He finished the match, but he left when it popped up with the you survived or you died, so nobody got anything for it.
What the hell?
Well, that should be... I mean, that shouldn't happen.
And it's a hard thing to fix. But that's the thing, is that whenever Jason leaves, it kills the match. And then whenever the host leaves, if they're not even Jason, if they're a counselor, it kills the match too because they don't have host migration built into this game yet.
Well,
that's something they can fix. But the Jason leaving thing sucks. I don't really know what they could do about that. Although his rage quit was totally worth it because the guy was such an asshole.
Really?
Yeah. No, it was good. It was good. We were. I'll tell it real quick. We were playing. It was Willie and I playing with a group of honest to God 6 to 7 year old kids. There were 4 or 5 of them, and at one point, we played a few rounds with these guys, but at one point it sounded like Willie called it. It's the last day of kindergarten for the year, and all the kids are out in the hallway ready to go home.
Oh, geez.
That was what it sounded like in this game, in these games. But anyway,
it's like my nightmare.
So we were playing this one round where this guy comes in after somebody had left, and the cinematic pops up. You see what kind of Jason it is, and all the kids are like, "Oh my God, it might be me! I might be Jason! Am I gonna be Jason?" It was all of that. Which, granted, is annoying. Do you think
Tammy has a crush on me?
It's annoying, but whatever. So then we get into the game. It's in Higgins. I'm at the cabins north of the big cabin.
When's nap time?
And of course that means that Jason heads straight for me because I'm there near the big cabin.
Right.
So I go ahead and lock everything up. Jason's walking up towards the thing, and I hear him saying, "Is it going to be me? Am I going to be Jason?" He's mocking these kids, and I was like, okay, well, whatever, dude. You're just being kind of a dick. It's like he's presuming that I'm a 6-year-old, probably.
Right.
Which, his odds were good, but he was wrong. So he starts knocking down the door. And then once he gets it within one hit, he moves over to the window, smashes the window, and then he goes to aim a knife at me. He's like, "You know you're going to die, right?" And I was just like, "Yeah, I don't think so." And he was playing Part 3 Jason, and I had a baseball bat. And if you hit Part 3 Jason with a baseball bat, he gets stunned, period. That's how it goes. As long as you have one of the male characters, essentially, because their power is high enough. So the guy,
you know you're gonna die, right?
yeah, exactly. The guy smashes.
Oh man,
The guy smashes the door, walks in, doesn't like. He's like, "Oh, where'd you go?" And then he turns to the side and sees me. He goes to swing at me, but misses. So then I hit him with the bat, and he falls over. He's like, "Oh, ho, ho, you know I'm gonna have to kill you now." And so
I would have just been like, "That's the point of the game, you fucking moron."
So I basically I book it out of the cabin over to the side, like across the river in Higgins, and it turns out Willie's there. For some reason, he can't hear me talking, and I can't hear him talking. But he had repaired the phone, the fuse box.
Okay.
I walked in, called the cops. Willie, we split our different ways because sometimes Jason will come right for the fuse box if he knows that happens. So then I head back over to my cabins that I was in because I figured Jason wouldn't retrace his steps yet because it was still pretty early in the round. I found a few things, but then I get a walkie-talkie and I'm like, "Hey, Willie, what's up?" He's like, "I just completely repaired the car. I put in the battery. I put in the gas. I have the keys. I'm on my way up to the top." And I'm like, "Oh, I'm right here at the T. Let me jump in with you." So I got in with him, and then Jason teleports and was like, "Oh man, do you guys know how lucky you are? This is such bullshit. You guys are so lucky." And we're just driving away, and then he teleports again, but he teleports behind us, unfortunately, as we're heading through the exit, and then he throws a knife at us because he's just being such a sourpuss about it all. So then there's like two people left. One of them's Tommy, the other one's not, and the police show up. And these two guys are on the main road, just kind of taking like individual increments down the road as Jason is coming towards them so they can kind of juke him out.
But wait,
still.
so he at least killed somebody.
He killed maybe two people.
So someone could come back as
Tommy. He killed two people because somebody came back as Tommy.
All right.
So they're making their way down the road. They finally run into Jason. They keep kind of like intermittently heading towards Jason, and he's kind of backing up to keep up with them.
Yeah.
And Tommy goes and shoots Jason, books it towards the exit, makes it out as the other guy goes to teabag Jason, and then gets caught by Jason and killed. And then as soon as the "you survived" pop up, I was basically just like, "Wow, man, you're like the worst Jason that I've ever played against." And then he raged, like he was gone. He rage quitted. So I didn't get the experience, but it was worth it because that guy was such a
At least when I rage quitted, I waited for the next round to happen. Yeah, and then I was like, I'm out.
Like he still would have gotten probably like 300 or 400, maybe even 600 experience. So he should have just stuck around, but obviously he was too butthurt to care about it.
It wasn't you being like, "You're the worst Jason ever." It was Nick being like, "God, John can't actually be that bad, can he?" And then I was like, "Yeah, I'm done."
But like, no, this guy was not. It's not the fact that he was so bad at it. It's that he was so cocky, but also horrible.
Right.
Like he was literally the worst Jason that I've played against. And I've played games where we've all made it out, but I thought it was luck. Yeah. This was not luck. He was just shit. So,
well, I hope he's listening.
Yeah. And then anyways, other than Friday the 13th,
what was his name?
I'm not going to dox him.
The last game that I played with you guys, there was that one kid. He was definitely a kid.
The kid who hit me?
Yeah, he hit.
Yeah. Yeah, I got into this kid's cabin.
That was ridiculous.
Because I was going to team up with him because I had already looted the other cabins, and he just hit me with a wrench. And then I ended up dying because I was weakened essentially. Jason found me. And then I texted everybody in the group. I was like, "Hey, watch out for this kid. He hit me." And then as soon as I died and I switched over to it, he was driving all of them in the car. It was like Brian and Rick and Willie were all in the car with this kid. And I was like, "What the fuck?"
He's actually driving really well.
I was like, "What did I do?"
Considering he probably has never driven an actual car.
So they all made it out. They all made it out, and they were talking about it for a little bit. And then I unmuted my mic. I was like, "So, kid, why did you hit me?" And he's like, "Well, you got in my cabin. I don't like it when people get in my cabin." And
fair
I was
enough, man. At least he was being honest.
It's like shitting in your
fair,
living room.
But I was like, I didn't try to loot any of the stuff.
He could have just said, "Can you get out of my cabin, please?"
Yeah. And so Willie was Mr. Parent and was like, "Well, so now why didn't you just tell him to get away?" And the child was like, "Well, I was in party chat," and I was like, "Okay, well, thanks for just letting me know. I wasn't going to take any of his shit." I just got into the... So anyway, Friday the 13th.
What a douche.
Last thing that I've been playing a game called Goner, which has been out on PC for about a year, but it's out on Switch now. It's $10. I've heard people say that it's giving them a Spelunky-ish vibe, so I picked it up. It's pretty different from Spelunky.
Yeah.
You're playing like a drop of water that uses guns to shoot monsters.
What?
And you have to like
get
like the higher combo of monsters you kill, the more like glyphs you collect.
I hope Drew's listening.
Which then also multiply the amount of points you get for killing these things.
Yeah.
So it's weird. Like you also, as a drop of water, you get 3 items. There's certain kinds of heads that you can pick up that give you the amount of life that you have and like a special ability. There's the gun. There's like a rifle, a shotgun, a laser gun, a few other things. And then there's also a it's like a backpack or like a side item that can either hold like extra ammo if you pick it up, or like it also has like a special ability to like cause like an item crash, like in Castlevania, where he just shoots a lot at once and it doesn't use your ammo. But it's roguelike. The graphics are very minimalist. It's like basically 3-color palette with like very like if you're not near the structures in the level, then they disappear, like it goes dark. So it's just a very stylistically cool game, and I'm looking forward to getting into it more.
$10?
It's $10. I wanted like an indie-ish game to play on the Switch.
Yeah.
Now that it seems like the Switch is becoming more of an indie darling. And it's cool. It plays well on the TV. It plays well. I was actually playing some while I was dead in Friday the 13th matches on my Switch.
Yeah, I don't know why I never think of that.
Yeah, I
think actually I know why, because I set my Switch dock behind my PC and it was kind of hidden from view, and I just kind of forgot about it.
I usually
switched its spot.
I usually get into the Friday the 13th enough that I will watch the other people play.
Well, yeah, I like to do that to an extent.
Yeah, so anyway, that's about all that I've been playing, but we can move on to some news. John, did you pull anything, or do you just want me to unload?
No, I was just going to let you go.
All right. There was a Splatoon 2 Direct. They showed off these new characters, Pearl and Marina. They look cool. They look more human than the other squids look, or Inklings look. They announced the Splatfest demo there. They brought the Miiverse functionality into the game, despite there not being Miiverse on the Switch, at least not yet. So they have... Basically, you can draw out things in like a white box that you can show in the public plaza.
It just occurred to me, not to interrupt, but I am sorry.
Okay.
Doesn't the Nintendo online stuff launch the same time as the?
Yeah,
the
that's
Splatoon?
on the news docket here.
Hey, well, what do you know?
But anyway, yeah, Miiverse functionality, so you can like kind of show like a drawing. There's some really intricate drawings that people are putting out. I feel like it's probably the thing that John would appreciate the most if he did buy Splatoon. You'll have to look at it. I'll show you some pictures of things. But
that's one of the things, making your own drawings,
so
right?
Yeah, now that I have the iPad, which everybody, I bought an iPad. Maybe I should have added that too. But what I want to start doing is I want my Instagram posts to be drawings of video game characters.
There you go. That's a cool one.
Because I've been doing like the Man Crush Monday and like the Woman Crush Wednesday and stuff like that. So I'm going to start sketching out video game characters for those particular ones.
And nice. You heard it here, and it's recorded.
And it's never going to actually happen.
You have to actually do it.
No, if we talk about it on the podcast, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's the rule.
Anyways, go back.
Other Splatoon 2 stuff. They're going to do live updates where they include new stages and gear and weapons for a year after release. So they will be doing them periodically for the year after the game comes out.
Free?
Yeah. Free, all free.
Oh, wow,
that's cool.
You hear that?
They're going to do
free.
They're going to do Splatfests, which are the thing that happened this weekend. They're going to be doing
Activision?
those for 2 years after the release of the game. So they will be doing live events like in Destiny for at least 2 years after.
That's sweet.
So that's awesome. The other thing that they did talk about was the Nintendo Switch Online app, which I think is what it's going to be called. It launches on July 21st for use with Splatoon. In terms of what you can do with it, it looks like games are going to have particular walled-off experiences within the app. Splatoon's is called Splatnet 2. There's going to be like a different one for Mario, I presume, or they could maybe go back and do one for Mario Kart 8. I don't know how that's going to work out, but it seems like every game will have like an individualized experience within the app.
That's interesting.
So
maybe does that have to do with any kind of share play experience or like ad hoc networking? Like,
I don't think it necessarily interacts if you're like just with each other in a like not doing it through the. I don't think it works that way. So that I don't think that's why they made it this way. But it seems like they have like a dedicated app team that's going to be doing the same stuff for each game. So hopefully they're going to get better and better at it and add in more functionality. But the cool thing is that in the Splatoon thing, you'll be able to see your statistics. They also have like playlists, like strike playlists essentially, but you can see what stages and what modes are going to be on in that app. And then also you can spend the in-game currency to buy loot and other stuff and also set your loadouts for the multiplayer. Cool. So that sounds cool. It's obviously going to be free, but it will be $20 a month starting next year.
No, $20 a year.
$20 a year, excuse me, yes.
That's
so
still
fine.
So reasonable.
And that obviously is the thing that's going to let you chat in the game. The other cool thing is that you can also send a link to somebody on their phone to have them join your game.
That's awesome.
Which is not something that Xbox or PlayStation lets you do. Like, obviously, they have the apps that you can do that with, but you can text somebody a link, hit the link, and get added into their Splatoon team, essentially.
Interesting.
Was what they kind of showed. So, that's awesome. A little more Nintendo news here. There's an ARMS 2.0 update. They added Max Brass, which I talked about last time, but they also added a new round where you can play against the boss guy that has the extra arms, and you can also become him for a short amount of time.
That's
so they kind of added 2 characters.
Yeah.
There's also 3 new arms. You get a new stage. There's a new mode. There's a bunch of different balance changes. And ranked play, they put it up to 20 levels instead of 10 levels. So there's now more room to grow ranked-wise.
I want spaghetti arms.
That's what the ramen girl has.
No, but I want them so like it's a bunch of smaller arms with tiny boxing gloves on them. And you can just shoot a bunch of them.
They kind of have ones like that, though, because there's the ones that have like 3 rockets on them.
Yeah, but I'm talking like 20. Like in each arm is like 20 noodles.
Each arm does like 5 damage.
And you'd still lose to all these people online.
Each noodle does like a single hit of damage. I just think it would be really funny.
Maybe.
Cool.
Anyway, they're supporting arms, obviously. There was an interesting thing. Super Mario Odyssey is going to completely ditch the game over screen. You cannot die in Super Mario.
There's never a game over, right?
Yeah. Sounds pretty great. It's not like game overs have really meant that much in modern video games.
I don't know.
Anyway.
They're kind of infuriating to some people.
Yeah,
like the Dark Souls one. You died.
Yeah.
Well, Dark Souls, there's an actual detriment to dying.
Yeah.
But I feel like in modern Mario games...
It just makes you feel so shitty.
Or like the Castlevania game over screen always made me like really depressed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Game over. It's like super heavy, like...
Yeah. No, I was always a fan of the Total Distortion one, which I think has come up.
You are dead. I still don't think anyone... There's no one else in the world that ever played that game except us and the Josephs.
Yeah, well, I think Rick actually
really?
had played. I think it's either Rick or Nick. One of them had played the game.
I need to find a means of playing. It needs to be...
I have it.
Do you?
I have a CD copy of it. You can run it on your computer.
Oh, God, I need it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I'll have to find where it is. It's here somewhere.
The whole game, are you familiar with it?
You've told me about it before.
I think we've talked about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
It's a really weird,
so
awesome
ridiculous
game. But, yeah.
You fight the Guitar Warriors.
I think that was like PopCap before PopCap became... No, it was Pop Rocket, wasn't it?
I think so.
Yeah, never mind then. But anyway.
Pop Rocks?
Super Mario Odyssey... No game over. Sounds interesting.
Jinx.
I'm interested to see how that game works.
Yeah.
That's like my most anticipated Switch title now.
Yeah. Absolutely. That makes sense.
It's fun.
Looks
fun.
Speaking of the Castlevania TV show, Adi Shankar, the producer of that show, is going to make an Assassin's Creed anime.
We'll talk about how awesome the Castlevania one is.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
But because of how awesome that is, I think
you're excited for Assassin's Creed.
I'm really pumped for the Assassin's Creed one.
I think it's a cool idea.
if they do the same thing that they did with the games, where it's actually based on like legitimate locations and deaths of people throughout history. Because I don't know if you knew that, but like in Assassin's Creed,
when you kill historical figures in those games,
in 1 and 2, the historical figures were realistic historical figures. And when they actually died, where you killed them, those locales were actually where they were killed.
And the way that you killed them as well, right?
Not necessarily.
No, because you could change that.
Some of them you couldn't. I think some of them you were meant to kill them in a particular way. But
yeah, but like obviously the ones that are just like straight up assassinations, like that didn't always happen. Like, but the people who died did die, and in those locations at that time frame throughout history. Which, and not only that, but just all of the historical facts and just world building that they did within that game, I find astounding. So if they take that. I mean, if they take the Ezio collection and basically make an anime of that, I think we will be in really good shape.
They should
that's
not
entirely
make
possible.
an anime of the movie.
No, please no.
I
still haven't even seen it. And I don't plan on it.
Saw most of it on my plane ride, either to or from Seattle.
Yeah.
Because somebody in front of me was watching it, and I had an exit row where I couldn't really reach my screen.
That's good.
It was like 2 rows
So
up.
Brian just watched it off somebody else.
So I just watched whatever everybody else was watching.
I'm sure it was
and
the
they happened to have the
optimal-
closed captioning on,
Yeah.
so I was like listening to music and just like reading the movie.
I'm sure that was the optimal way to experience
It was.
Assassin's Creed.
I
That's
doubt it made
actually
it worse.
That's the optimal way to watch most movies.
Yeah.
On an airplane in the most uncomfortable seating ever.
It wasn't good. Okay.
It's never good.
Yeah. So yeah, that might be cool. I kind of hope I hope there's a modern day element to it. I hope they don't do the way the games have gone and kind of just eschewed that and are like, because now that Desmond's like not important anymore. Like I hope there's like a Desmond-ish element to it that is actually important.
Yeah.
And not just like you work at Abstergo, who's a subsidiary of Ubisoft,
And
like
Valve
Yeah.
is somehow involved.
So
I liked Black Flag though when you were working at like the game studio.
yeah,
or something.
like that was you were working at a game studio under Abstergo that was also somehow part of Ubisoft.
Yeah,
I don't know.
it was funny,
It was weird.
though.
It was funny, but I liked when that had meaning, kind of.
Yeah.
So I
So
hope
that
they
was
get back to
actually
that.
Ubisoft the game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was.
It's funny because all the people who
Very
worked there were really
meta shit.
unhappy too. So, yeah.
That was their way of lashing out
Ubisoft the game.
That was their outlet.
Real life
in a game.
in a game.
Summer Games Done
Simulator.
Quick closed with another record last week, $1.7 million raised for Doctors Without Borders, which is fantastic. Notably less than Awesome Games Done Quick, which I think was like several $1 million this year, which was awesome to see. But Polygon has a pretty good write-up of the runs that you shouldn't miss. They've got a Dark Souls run here that finished in 29 minutes.
What?
They've got a Super Meat Boy any percent in 21
It takes me 29 minutes to pick my character.
They've got a 120-star run of Super Mario 64 in an hour 41 minutes. And then there's a bunch of other ones that are like entertaining for different reasons. There's a
really?
sweet
I
super
read
hot run.
recently. It wasn't part of that, but there were people that were beating Final Fantasy VII in like less than 8 hours.
Yeah,
It was
no.
a team
or something,
right? It was like a team of,
I don't know.
three guys.
Well, no, the one that I saw was a guy that had done it, but he was using these insane, non-like Game Sharky exploits to like teleport through the game essentially, and it was fat. Like those are the ones that I feel like there's two types of Games Done Quick viewers. There's the people that are like, you legitimately beat this game without any crazy workarounds, and then there's the people that appreciate you've broken this game,
The ingenuity of the breaking of the game.
And they're both fantastic, but I love seeing the people that are like, I know if I hit this button on this frame, then it's going to put me into this cinematic, which is at the end of the game, like that kind of thing.
The guy beating Zelda without a sword was pretty
Yeah.
impressive.
So there were a lot of sweet runs at Summer Games Done Quick. Everybody should check it out. Plunkbat. They announced that they are going to stay in early access through most of 2017.
That's fine. They actually
When's it coming to
roll
Xbox?
out.
It's supposed to be this fall.
So is it going to be
Yeah.
in early access on
I
Xbox
don't
too,
know.
or what?
They
knows?
roll out updates for that game on a regular basis, though, and they're
it
noticeable.
seems like it's almost weekly.
Yeah,
But part of
I
me-
think it is like every Thursday.
Yeah.
Part of me wonders, like, the line between early access and not is so blurry nowadays. Of like, yeah, they're rolling out updates for it, but updates of that sort of caliber happen to games that are full releases nowadays. So part of me is like, what's like this game is fully formed.
Well,
you can play it in a complete state right now.
It's true. I guess the idea is they want all the features that they have planned in it before it's out of early access.
And that's super admirable.
Gee,
like I guess that's the
if only the other game makers had that same mentality.
Yeah.
I guess that's the thing is
and
they're doing.
It's not like they delayed it that much because they were shooting for October before, and they said it should still be out by the end of the year.
Yeah,
and they have only been out. And the game's only been out like a few months.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
to take it from early access to completion in 6 months is more than most of those game companies can. I mean, geez, like Starbound, I think I played for like a year or more before it was in final release.
How quickly do you think you could get it to completion?
Pretty quick.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess they're the ones that are doing it right because if coming out of early access means you believe you've got a full-priced game. You've made a full-priced game
it's
now.
It's also only $30. That's the best $30 I've spent.
I'm wondering
in
if they're
years.
going to bump it up to $60 when it comes out of early access.
I've already put like close to 65 hours in.
Yeah. So,
damn.
They did show off a video of the new desert map. Did you watch it?
I have not. I need to check that out.
I didn't watch it either, but
are there
I
multiple
saw, like,
maps?
There's
now,
going to be.
just
this
one?
would be the second map.
Right now,
Okay.
there's just one map, but it's so big. Like, there's parts of it that I'm finding for the first time.
But the current map is kind of like countryside-ish, right?
It's a giant island.
There's
actually two.
I'm sure
islands.
they're all going to be islands in a way, but like it'd be cool. Like
So it's a big island, but it's got urban sections and rural sections that you can kind of, and it's kind of
But
high
how-
risk, high
multiple
reward.
but how heavily like developed is the urban section?
They're pretty developed. Like,
Because like, would you rather see them start developing like a full urban city? Like
they're very detailed.
no, I don't mean like detail necessarily. I just mean like, would you want to play a level that's all building?
if they were
think
like,
that-
this is New York, this is
here's
Manhattan,
Metropolis.
I believe
Like,
that would be interesting.
The
to me.
third map that they have planned is all urban.
Okay.
That's
but
cool.
it's smaller.
Or even if they did like a favela in like the Call of Duty
That
ones,
would be-
and those
that would
kinds
be
of maps,
awesome.
That would be nuts. Like,
Yeah.
it would be terrifying because you never know where people are. But
it's just all buildings.
yeah. So I mean, it'll
They
be
have
interesting
other
to see what they
modes
develop.
planned too, because the original Battle Royale mod actually has other modes. It's just that the Last Man Standing Battle Royale
Was
style
the
is
first
like
thing
the main
that they
mode.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it'll be interesting to see because I know that they what was I gonna say? The desert one, obviously, like the current map has a lot. Like even when there's not a field of wheat to crouch in, there's still a bunch of grass on the ground.
Mm-hmm.
The desert one, as far as I understand, means that you can't just prone through the end of the
It's
map.
gonna be like that one GIF you sent me with the
With
dude
the
like
cactus?
looking like a cactus.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
I-
moving
yeah,
behind a cactus,
It
and
was,
it'll be.
it was Marge Simpson.
And that's the thing is that it will probably be more important to select your clothing as you
And
come across it.
I think
in the
we're gonna
game.
have an
Right.
advantage with our froze because people are just gonna think
I
our
think
heads
it's
are
a tumbleweed. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, because
But-
it would be cool to like. That's the thing. Like, it'd be cool to see like a Siberian setting or something like that, where you're like in like
yeah.
some really cold like wilderness kind of shit, or like cave systems or something.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Actually,
like,
there's a huge underground bunker in Plunkbat right now that I just found like last week.
that's awesome.
Huh.
Yeah.
So it'll be cool to see how that changes the gameplay. Like the idea that there's absolutely no way, like the idea that so many of the games right now end with everybody laying in a field trying to hide in the grass.
Yeah, it usually comes down to the one guy that has the sniper rifle that
Yeah, can stay the furthest away and actually like,
pick people off.
yeah. But if you're in a desert, you can't just lay down and disappear like
nah.
that. You're
I have a yellow coat that I unlocked, and it's,
yeah.
What
it
if-
actually
what
it's
if
very
they-
helpful in cornfields.
What
or
if you
wheat
can
fields.
find a trench trowel and like dig a hole and climb into it and
That
cover
would be
yourself in
awesome.
sand?
That'd be pretty good. Or if you could find a ghillie suit that's like all yellowish.
Sandy.
I think the ghillie suits drop in care packages. I think
That's
they're a
awesome.
thing, but I'm not sure.
That'd be great.
I've never had one.
It's just a tan blanket.
Yeah. Anyway, can we move on?
Plunkbat. There was a Horizon Zero Dawn update. I only have 2 more items here. So Horizon Zero Dawn update came out with New Game Plus and also an Ultra Hard mode.
I have yet to try that. I want to do New Game Plus in Ultra Hard mode.
Yeah,
so that way I can start with all the cool stuff.
Yeah, there's two more trophies as well that they added with the
I did
New
not
Game
get
Plus.
all the trophies, but I got a lot of them.
You still get your platinum if you get all the original trophies. They split it off into like a DLC trophy set, which is cool. And then finally, Sony added 20 PS4 games to PlayStation Now as their response to Xbox Game Pass. Games like Killzone Shadowfall, God of War 3 Remastered, Saints Row 4 Re-Elected, and a bunch of other stuff.
Cool.
Resogun's in there, so that's cool. There's a bunch of games in here like Nidhogg would not play very well with any kind of lag, so that's not a great idea, but there's a bunch of stuff in here that might be all right. So if that's your bag, check it out. Let us know how PlayStation Now is working for you, and that's about it. So I want to stop talking for a little while.
No, that's cool. I want to make a comment real quick because I was just flipping through Kotaku, and like professional sports teams are starting esports teams. Like this is a thing.
Oh well, yeah, they did the owners of professional sports teams that are getting into
they're like the
esports.
The
teams.
big Overwatch league is city-based teams.
Yeah,
so
it's
that
kind of
Like,
ridiculous.
they're not just like
there's a Detroit one.
But I was just reading this thing. It says soccer team signs FIFA player, cuts him 2 days later over online behavior, quote unquote. The dude's 22. His name's Tony Cock, K-O-K. Okay, that's how it's spelled.
Yeah.
And before the weekend was over, the contract had been torn up over sexist comments Cock had made on Twitter over the years. What do you expect?
Yeah.
Dude's name's Cock. I mean.
How could you not?
It's going to be all sexist comments.
No, I mean, your name can be Cock.
Yeah,
and you can be lewd without being sexist.
You can be cocky without being...
Unless his name's pronounced Coke or something. I don't know. But it's K-O-K, and that's Cock to me. So
that's good.
Anyways.
Cool.
The fact that esports are getting professional teams in cities like that, like what's the Detroit team going to be called? That's what I want to know.
I don't know, but it already exists.
But what's it going to be called?
Detroit jerseys.
How cool is it? Can we somehow be a part of it?
No, because you don't like Overwatch and you're terrible at it.
I wasn't terrible. I just wasn't good. There's a difference.
I'll be a part of the Detroit Spelunky team.
I just want to like.
I'll be part of a PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds team.
It just seems like we somehow like already missed the boat on all of that, and like it would have been sweet to kind of be on the ground.
We probably
floor.
missed the boat on podcasting about video games too.
Oh, we definitely.
I think we kind of aged out of it though. You know, like
you have to.
We're too old now.
You have to be failing out of college.
Your reaction time has to be really good.
Our reaction times are already too slow.
The only thing we could be like good at probably would be like if there was a team for Civ or something. Because that's not about reaction time.
That would be fun, actually. Like large scale Civ competition.
I'll join the Friday the 13th
esports
team.
We
can be the Chads.
The Chads.
Chads, yeah.
The Detroit Chads.
Chad on Chad.
Yeah, our whole team only plays Chad.
So
that's it.
Let's.
Anyway, Brian. I guess our last piece of news can lead into this. Oculus saw a price drop. It's currently a sale for $399. You get the Touch and the Oculus.
Yes.
Plus a bunch of games. It is not a permanent price drop. However, there is a $100 permanent price drop. So it will go up to $500 instead of $600 after the end of this summer sale, which I think is like 6 weeks long or something like that.
Originally, for a brief period of time, I think before they ran out of them, Amazon Prime or Amazon had the best deal where they gave you a $100 gift card as well.
Yeah, I think that was a Prime Day sale.
Yeah, okay.
But last week.
I missed out on that, but I ended up... Well, somebody at work told me about it, and I was like, really? That's like tempting, because... I mean, that's like the last piece of the puzzle after building a nice PC.
Yeah.
Is to get into the VR thing finally. And I was going to wait till the next generation.
Although apparently both Valve and Oculus have come out and said we're not making new hardware yet.
Yeah, well, even if they do, I still think it's like another year or two away.
Yeah, it'll be a while.
$400, the price is right with the controllers. And Best Buy's deal was they were also giving away Eve Valkyrie for free.
Yeah.
Which is a $60 game still. And one I've played and I actually thought was cool enough to where I'd probably get it anyways.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I pulled the trigger on that, and I guess I could start with my initial impressions of like the packaging and like everything that comes with it is just very well done.
Yeah.
Awesome boxes. You open it up and you just see all this.
Got all that
lovely
Zuckerberg
looking
money.
Is it Apple level of
Yeah.
designed in?
As far as the packaging goes.
Wherever.
Dude, that's okay. The thing about good packaging is you don't want to fuck it up.
Yeah.
You open the box and you're just like, oh man, I don't want to open the rest of it.
Yeah, the Oculus, the Rift box itself is still like heavy after you've taken everything out of it.
Yeah.
From all the foam and inserts and stuff.
Yeah.
No, from the souls of all the people who have died on Facebook. It's collected them into.
Whatever.
The PS4, the PSVR packaging is also very.
It was
nice.
very cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was very well done.
I think
It was
all around.
in like numerical boxes too to show you like which you need to open in sequence to help you like put it together
Set
because
it
they
up.
knew it was a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyway.
there's a thing right away that tells you what the first step is.
Yeah.
It's like go to
Sign your soul to Facebook.
go to Oculus
.com and
.com/setup or whatever. Download the app.
for step 1, pat
Yeah.
yourself on the back and
then-
congratulations because
All right,
you bought
I'm
an
not even gonna.
Oculus.
Let's just go to Castlevania.
Step 2, join the Facebook botnet. No, please. Let's
I'm
talk
done.
about it.
No.
All right.
Okay, we can.
No,
talk
go ahead.
about
We
next
want to
time.
That's
know.
awkward.
We want to know what you think. Talk
We were
about
just
it.
joking about it.
We're
'cause
just
you were
riff-
joking
we're-
about it too.
We're
Like,
riffing
yeah,
with
I-
you, man. We're just riffing.
I'm not gonna get into the politics or any of that of the company. I don't.
I was just. I don't care about any of that.
We
I
didn't
was
talk.
just-
I didn't bring up Palmer Luckey yet.
I was just
so-
making
Yeah.
jokes. I was just making jokes about stuff.
It was a good deal. I wanted to try it out.
Packaging was cool.
The
Was
setup.
was it easy to
the
set up?
setup? It takes a while, but it was easy.
Yeah,
like-
it takes a while because there's a lot of components.
Yeah.
Or like,
No, not really. It's just there's a lot of steps in like getting it calibrated and all that
plug
stuff.
this
But it's all
in, like-
easy.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like, okay, get the controller, put the batteries in the controller, set up the sensor.
I wouldn't
set
even
up
be,
the,
I wouldn't even read any of that stuff.
set up the headset. Make sure the sensor's in within I think it has to be at least 3 feet away from you.
Okay.
They tell you to set it up standing up, but I couldn't get it to work that way with my setup, so I just
Yeah.
did it sitting down and it was fine. But it probably thinks I'm like 2 feet shorter than I actually am because it tells you to input your height too.
You're gonna get games that are like must be this tall to ride.
Stuff like
You
that.
can't
yeah.
run this roller coaster simulator.
This has just gone way
I
off
didn't even
track.
think about it as like a roller coaster simulator.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
There's that creepy ass clown with his hand sticking up like this, and you have to actually. They're like, here, stand on the platform on the ground and see if you're tall enough to ride this ride. And Brian's like, I'm in a chair.
And some virtual carnies chase you away if you're not tall enough.
All right. So you got the whole thing set up. You were saying you had some issues with the comfortability of the fit.
Yeah, the way you adjust the straps in it is just not entirely intuitive, in my opinion, as far as like what they do to how it fits. But
Is
after a couple days, I got it to work better for me, and it's not that uncomfortable, honestly.
Did it get like broke in, or is it just like
It's
you
just-
found a better way?
I
to
just
get it to
found the
fit?
sweet spot to
Gotcha.
adjust it and to put it on my head.
Yeah,
Is it a foam gasket that's
It is
against your
yeah.
fit? Okay.
And that part, like, because it has like ridges on it, those ridges, if you have the gasket in the wrong spot, will leave some serious marks on your cheeks.
ribbed for your
it's
discomfort.
kind of uncomfortable, and it's not for your comfort,
I
actually.
said discomfort.
Yeah.
But I guess the key is to get the back part lined up properly with your skull, and then like once that's
That's a similar thing with the PSVR.
yeah, once you figure that out, it like adjusts the weight perfectly, and
Yep.
then it's not all like pressing against your cheeks, and it actually looks better. And there's like a lens spacing switch on the bottom of the mask, and beyond that though, It's fine. Like once you have it adjusted, you don't have to like readjust it as far as the straps go because it's spring loaded, where it'll just like pull off.
That's cool. Wait, so you said there's a lens spacing adjuster under the mask so like you can move the lenses.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So well, no, is it like pupil distance or is it like
it's pupil distance?
Spatial. Okay. Because PlayStation has that, but it's hidden in the settings, and it's terrible to even calibrate. So that's cool that it's just a slider, so you can find where it.
That's nice. Best. I'd say after getting used to it, how it fits, my only real complaint with the whole design of it is you can see too much of the inside of the mask, and you can see too much light coming in. Like the PSVR encloses around your face a little bit.
You don't feel like it kind of kills the immersion because you almost feel like you're looking at a screen like all the time.
So it's missing.
It's like you're looking at stuff through goggles like underwater. Yeah, is what it reminds me of, or like a periscope or something
with like a curved screen around you, or like not quite.
I don't know. The field of view is supposedly pretty good for as far as VR headsets go, but to me, I could just see too much. Like if the gasket were thinner, so the lenses were closer to your eyes, then I don't think it would be an issue.
Yeah.
But so that's cool. They still give you a Xbox controller with it, and it comes with the wireless dongle, which actually I was excited about that because I didn't have a wireless one.
Yeah. Nice.
And the touch controllers come in their own box. They are amazing. They also come with their own sensor, like an additional sensor to help you track. Interesting thing I found out, though, is, I ran out of USB ports when I was setting everything up. I had to get creative and unplug some stuff that I didn't need. But I still didn't have a port for the second sensor. So I had to wait like a day or two just to use it till I had a hub.
Yeah.
And then I switched the hub out, and I forgot to plug the sensor back in. And I was still using the touch controllers for like 2 hours without the other sensor plugged in.
Yeah.
And they worked fine. So I don't even see the point of having the second sensor, but
it just gives you more field of vision on the sensors. Like it's more important if you're trying to do things that are kind of room scale.
Okay.
Because if you essentially, if you turn, if you only have one setup and you turn away from it and it kind of loses sight of one of the controllers, then you might have issues with the tracking on that hand. But if you have two of them, then obviously it's got a wider field of view of your situation and lets you. That's why you need to buy the third one to do actual room scale.
Gotcha.
Because then you can fully turn around and a sensor will always be able to see where your hands are at.
Yeah.
Does King Spray, is King Spray available on Oculus, or is it only available on Vive?
I don't know. I didn't look for that one.
That's the graffiti.
Yeah,
game.
I know what you're talking about, but I forgot to look for it. Here, let me pull up my phone so I can tell you what games I did actually try.
King Spray is on the Oculus store, so.
Oh, fuck me, dude. I need that. I need it.
Touch required, of course, because that wouldn't be any fun to play with a controller.
Oh, we didn't talk about the grip controllers for Vive either, did we?
No, those have kind of been out there
like
for a little
concept,
while.
Or are they actually putting that into production?
They're currently working on it, but basically it's like they'll be able to track individual knuckles,
and you can grab objects in game and pick them up, and the controller stays on your hand. Really cool.
Yeah,
that'll be perfect for Fallout VR.
Yeah,
for when you have to pick up more tape. And toasters.
Yeah, I like the concept of that, but having used the touch controllers, that's totally enough for me.
Yeah, because you said it reads like your index finger movement.
They're the best, the coolest controllers I've ever used, hands down, or hands on. But they track very well. They're just super comfortable and very intuitive as far as the button placement. No, they're not heavy, and they're totally wireless. When you have as soon as you put the headset on, you can see them exactly where they're at.
That's cool.
So you can just pick them up.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. What's the battery life on them?
I have no idea, but so far it's used up basically none because it has battery life trackers for all that stuff in the menu for the Oculus software.
Are they rechargeable? Do you hook them up, or is it?
They are not rechargeable. They just use one AA a piece.
That's awesome.
Which keeps it super light.
Impressive.
Yeah. So I don't know how long they'll last, but buying double A's and just having to use one.
Well, just wait till they go on
fine.
sale. The Eneloop thing goes on
Yeah,
sale on Amazon.
I use Eneloops, and they're fantastic.
Are they rechargeable?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're always on sale on Amazon.
Okay. I'll probably go that route, but for now I'm good because I can only even if the headset is reasonably comfortable, I can still only play for so long, and I kind of like get a headache.
Yeah.
I just need my VR legs, I think. But I've tried 5 different things so far. Valkyrie was the first thing I tried.
We're gonna have to try co-op.
Yeah, that's cool
because it has crossplay.
I didn't play it too much, but it was interesting.
Yeah.
And then I
mean, it's just dogfighting. It's
yeah.
fun.
Space dogfights.
But that's how I got my VR legs, was playing that. For like
the barrel rolls definitely make me a bit nauseous.
The first couple days that I was playing it, I could only play it for like half-hour spurts of time and had to take like hour-long breaks in between because I needed to just get my equilibrium back to normal. But once I got over like the first week of doing that, like I was playing it for like 3-4 hours at a time without any problem. So
cool. Lucky's Tale I tried because that comes free with it. That's a platformer. They showed it at E3 because it's coming out for PSVR, I think, in the fall.
No, it's coming out for Xbox.
Or is it Xbox? So
Super
non-VR?
Lucky's Tale, non-VR, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Well, it would still be fun to play without VR, I think.
Well, I'm not interested if it's not coming out
for PSVR. It looks super cool in VR.
Yeah.
Like,
where are you in the world? Are you behind him? Or
you're like off to the side. It's like looking at like a diorama or something, but it's all like in 3D, and you can kind of look around, and see
cool.
different parts of the set. There's a little pipe you go under, so it turns it to like side scroller for a minute before you come back out, like when you're going underground in Mario or something.
Or like Metroid. Did you ever play Metroid Prime?
A little bit, but not as much as I wanted to.
Some of the morph ball stuff was like it would convert it to side scroller, and then you come back out.
It's still like you can move in 3 dimensions, but it's like
it's kind of like a locked off. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. I'm looking forward to playing more of that. Robo Recall comes free if you have touch controllers. That game is super fun, and my issue with that game though is it's a little difficult to play with the limited amount of space I have.
So what is it? What are the?
It is a shooter, but like it's like a score-based shooter.
Okay.
You're just trying to get the biggest score you can, basically. But basically, all these robots go haywire, and you're just out there destroying them all.
Okay.
But it's got like a funny sense of humor to it, and it looks great. It's definitely one of the better looking games I've played, and it uses the touch controllers just perfectly.
Nice.
Like you actually reach down to your sides to pull out new pistols or that have ammo
reload.
in them.
Yeah.
You can pick up weapons off the ground. You can catch bullets in midair and throw them back at enemies. And it all just feels so real. Like it's very cool. Yeah, definitely looking forward to playing that more. But I really need to change up my setup. I have such limited space.
Yeah.
Like I hit my end table, I think, and my computer and my monitor. I really don't want to hit my monitor.
Yeah, it's probably not a good idea.
I tried a non-game, a VR app. I tried Google Earth VR.
Yeah.
Also pretty amazing. I wish they had that for PlayStation VR, but I don't. There might not be enough processing power for that.
So did you go visit like one of the towns that's actually in like down in Detroit or in New York where there's like 3D skyscrapers and stuff like that?
Yeah, actually, even Berkeley is
really
in 3D.
Interesting.
Yeah, I couldn't see my exact house because this was from like a couple years ago before the trees were cut down.
Okay.
So it's just like 3D populated trees that are over the house. But yeah, you can go down to the corner and see like the usual stuff in Berkeley. It's pretty wild.
That's awesome.
And you can actually set it to human scale where you can actually fly all the way down to the ground. Okay. And look around like Street View style, basically. It's not quite as detailed as 2D Street View, whatever, but
yeah,
it's pretty damn impressive. And like the way it populates like geography, like mountains and stuff, looks really good.
That's awesome.
I went to Rio de Janeiro and like New York and Berkeley.
Nice. All the place. All the big
and you fly
spots.
around. You can zoom out all the way into space and see like the whole globe, and you can use it supports the touch controllers too, so you can just like grab onto like the globe and then spin it and stuff like that, and it's just
Can you fly
super
around
cool.
the globe and turn back time to save Lois Lane?
Probably.
Can you spin it so fast that people fly off of it?
That would be great, but no,
Damn.
unfortunately.
I'm reading online right now. I just wanted to add that despite the fact that Valkyrie is crossplay between all of the platforms in VR, you can't choose to play with players from different platforms. You can only
it only populates matches with
unless if I had a Vive and bought it on Steam, you can play with Steam users.
Okay.
But like we can't choose to play together.
That sucks. I kind of wondered if Star Trek is the same way.
Bridge Crew works all across the board.
So you can invite Uplay, like your Uplay buddies.
That's cool. Because I had to look it up, but the Rift does have a microphone built into it too.
Okay, cool.
But I hear that part's not the best for some reason. Like it's too quiet or something.
Whatever.
It has built-in headphones too, and they look cheap, but they sound really good. The 3D positional audio is awesome.
Yeah.
Like Echo Arena Open Beta, that was the last like real thing that I played. I loaded up a couple other things for a second, like Assetto Corsa.
Yeah.
That I already owned as a racing sim. And that's interesting looking, but I didn't really play it.
I'm just going to wait for Bridge Crew to go on sale, and then I'll buy it.
Yeah, that's what
I'm probably going to buy it full price, but whatever. But I just haven't bought it yet because I knew I didn't have time to play it.
Yeah. Werewolves Within is also
I've heard that one's really good.
Echo Arena, is that going to be on PlayStation? Because that's
Take a look.
Really cool. That was one of the best experiences I had so far with the touch controllers as well. Like, because you actually, it's like an esport kind of game. Like, it's a virtual reality, like zero gravity sport game. And it's really wild. Like you basically use these little jets on your hands to fly around where you want to, and you can push off of objects and pull objects to reposition yourself in zero gravity, and it's just it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
But that was just the beta. I think it ends today.
I'm not seeing anything.
And the actual game comes out, I believe, Tuesday.
Yeah, it sounds like it's a spin-off of another game called Lone Echo. And it does not look like there's a VR or a PSVR announcement or anything for it yet. So
that game had the most amazing audio as far as like the chat went. Like I could actually hear where people were talking from.
That's cool.
Yeah.
CCP Games is making a new game, like a new esports VR game.
Like the Eve people?
Yeah, they're making a new like I think it's almost like a dodgeball style game, almost like Hollow Ball, but not. I don't remember exactly, but I would assume that's going to end up being cross-platform too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loaded up Steam VR because it has its own like menu system
UI
and stuff. Yeah. Like there's a house you can walk around and stuff.
Did you try doing the YouTube VR stuff?
No, I haven't tried that yet. There's a lot to try.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I can't comfortably use it right now because like I pulled something in my back, which might have had something to do with playing VR games. And now like when I put the headset on, it just makes me really uncomfortable.
You should,
even though it's not heavy, it's a very lightweight set, and there's only one like pretty thin cord running off the back. But
if you get it for cheap, you should pick up Sports Bar VR if it's on there, because then you could make a drink at home and you don't have to go out to play darts or pool or stuff like
and
that.
Air hockey.
I don't think you can cross-play with us, sadly.
They're teasing it right now.
Are they?
Like, I don't remember the developer's name, but they've been teasing it for a little while.
That would be pretty rad.
Yeah, it'd be cool if we could all just hang out in VR and never have to hang out.
Yeah, we'd never have to see each other. We could start recording this in Sports Bar.
Yeah.
We could.
I'm good on that.
Okay.
There's probably other things I wanted to mention, but you guys sidetracked me and I forgot them. So
sorry, man.
Let's just do Castlevania here. So I can go home and watch Game of Thrones.
I was going to talk about Zelda real quick.
Oh,
things are going pretty long. There's Zelda DLC. It's okay.
Yeah, well, it's no story.
Yeah, there's no story.
It's just the
there's
master
different
trials and
different masks and armor that you can find that are given to you as side quests, which is fine. But the master trials are fucking hard.
They added another 10,000 Korok seeds.
I don't think that's true, but at least now you have a mask to find them.
Yeah.
Which seems like it has pretty good range for picking up where they are. If you just walk around, you'll...
Does it make that stupid ass sound like the
just
radar
like
does?
It makes a little... No, it doesn't do that one. It makes like a Korok noise at first, and then the mask actually shakes on Link's face.
Does it vibrate the controller?
No. It didn't vibrate the Pro Controller when I was playing.
I would like it to do that.
The Master Trials are cool. Did either of you get to Eventide Island?
No. Oh, yeah. The one
you
in the
definitely...
corner.
Yeah,
it's like a giant version of that, right?
It's not like giant. It's like there's little arenas that you get put in, and you are completely naked. You have no weapons. You have the stamina bar and hearts that you take into the battle. So if you eat a thing that maxes out your hearts and gives you the bonus hearts, or if you have all of the hearts anyway, then you can take those in. But you're only getting like spare ingredients every once in a while. And I think like every 7 or 8 stages, or maybe even 10 stages, it'll give you a little area to cook the things so you can make them into a meal and actually make them useful.
Are there breaks between rounds?
Not you don't have, you get to start the next round.
Okay.
So you can take the time to run around and see if there's anything
Collect
hidden.
anything.
Sometimes there's chests that are up high that you can go get. But yeah, every 15 that you beat, I think, it stops and gives you another, or no, maybe it's not. There's a certain number. I think there's like easy, medium, and hard. And once you're done with all the easy stages, it ends. You get 10 points to your Master Sword damage, and then you can come back to the next one and do the medium set.
Okay.
So I got to like level 10, I think, and then just got my ass handed to me because it's fucking hard. Like, it's
Sounds
difficult.
fun though.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's a nice new way to get you back into the game.
It would really improve your fighting in that game, which is kind of difficult to master in and of itself.
You got to get down to the countering. You got to figure out how to take advantage of
proper
like
parries and things.
Setting your stuff on fire and to get more damage out of it, and proper parries, and using your glider to hop up when somebody sets the grass on fire beneath you so you can get away, and that kind of thing. Like, it certainly gives you more. In order to finish those, you're going to need to know all those tips and tricks.
Yeah.
The armor,
cool.
the different armor sets are cool, but they're kind of like, I don't know that I really need these.
Do you have to
any more
find
story.
them, like, or is it quest based, or is it just like you can go, like, you have to locate them in some random ass shop?
You get a bunch of side quests that all point you to a particular book where they give you hints about where all of them are.
Gotcha, that's cool.
And then once you kind of know the conceit of how they're hidden and stuff, it's pretty easy to find them. But
right on.
But yeah, it's good. Maybe not worth the $20 alone. The Hero's Path mode, or the Hero's Path thing, is awesome because you can pull up your map and it will play through your path. So it'll be like, you started here and you'll see the green line trace through, and then, oh, you died, and then you started back here, and then you keep going on this way, and then, oh, you died, and then keep going through. So you can watch it play out your entire last 200 hours.
That's ridiculous.
So it's a really neat feature. It's not a $20 DLC feature. But
is that retroactive?
Well,
so
the $20 is for both, right?
Yeah, the $20 is for everything. So, but yeah, it had everything from the start of my game.
Yeah,
and yeah, so it's pretty good.
Cool.
But yeah, that's the Zelda DLC.
Yeah, I'd like to pick it up. Maybe when I get tired of Destiny and there's no more trials to play, I'll do that.
Yeah,
we'll see. Anyways, Castlevania.
Yeah.
We all watched the Castlevania series on Netflix.
It was not long enough.
No.
But it was pretty awesome.
It was fantastic.
I was like, the first episode especially, I thought was impressive.
So let me introduce this like a film nerd. So if
Okay.
I choose to, I can cut it out.
Sure.
Castlevania is a series on Netflix. The synopsis on IMDb says a vampire hunter fights to save a besieged city from an army of otherworldly creatures controlled by Dracula. The show stars Richard Armitage as Trevor Belmont, but you've also got Graham McTavish as Dracula, James Callis as Alucard, and Alejandro Reynoso as Sypha Belnadis. But yeah, it's 4 episodes on Netflix. They're 23 minutes apiece. It's basically like an hour and 40-minute movie cut up into 4 bits.
Yep. Especially since each episode starts exactly where the last one left off.
Yep. So no spoilers at the moment, but we'll start that once we run out of stuff to talk about non-spoiler wise.
It's just really funny when Jason was watching it. He like 20 minutes in, he's like, "Dude, this Castlevania thing is great." And then he texts me again. He's like, "It's so awesome. This is like one of the best things I've ever watched." And 20 minutes later, he's like, "That's it?" and I was like, "Yeah, man. Like that's it." But we were getting 8 more episodes in like a year.
That's probably the biggest complaint is that there's just not enough of it.
Yeah, because it was good. I mean, the production's really good. The voice acting's fantastic. Although one of my gripes is the Trevor Belmont dude is just way too Jack Sparrow for me. Like I could
like
really. They should have just hired the dude who played Richter in Symphony of the Night because he was good. You steal men's souls and make them your slaves.
I don't think I want to hear that.
It was awesome.
Show.
I kind of wanted the Alucard voice to be Alucard from the game, though, because I liked that guy's voice. But anyway.
Isn't that kind of a spoiler?
No.
It's not. He's
in the first episode.
He's in the image they show you when you bring it up on Netflix.
Oh, okay.
It's obvious. He's right there.
Well, and if you say the words,
he looks just as effeminate as like he does in the other games. I love Alucard. He's my favorite video game character.
So Trevor, this is it's loosely based on Castlevania 3: Dracula's Curse.
Yeah.
Which does indeed have Alucard in it.
What is a man?
Like so I mean, if people know.
A miserable pile of secrets.
So
talk.
Yeah, it's kind of weirdly structured. I feel like the second episode is a little boring, but the rest of it is all really good.
Well, because there was a lot of build up. I mean, the first episode's good because you're excited because you're seeing something new and you're like sucked in. The second episode has to build up like exactly what the hell's going on.
Yeah.
And then the third episode and fourth episode are just like straight action, you know. Like,
well, that's the thing. Like, even if so, that's why people are like, was this supposed to be a movie? I don't think it was because the pacing. If it was, the pacing is all completely off because it just kind of dies in that second episode.
I told people they might as well watch it like that because
I
once
think
you watch one, you're like, ooh, I want to see more.
Yeah,
you might as well just see them all because it's so short.
But. I like everybody. I liked even Richard Armitage as Trevor. I think he's good.
Oh, I mean, he did a good job. Like, don't get me wrong, his voice acting is good. I'm just saying it's a little too Jack Sparrow for me.
Well, but they're portraying like the washed up Trevor Belmont who nobody cares about anymore, who's a drunk.
No, I know.
Kind of like Jack Sparrow.
Yeah, the washed-up pirate who nobody cares about anymore. Who's
so,
kind of a drunk.
It's a function of the character, I guess, but I get what you're saying.
I mean, it's like they told him, like, hey, dude, why don't you pretend to be Johnny Depp for a minute? And he was like, all right. And, like, just, like, got
be honest, I didn't get any Johnny Depp.
Really? Because I did.
I didn't even think about it until you said something.
Go back and watch, like, his introduction. Like, first...
It sounded like Thorin Oakenshield because he played Thorin Oakenshield in The Hobbit to me. But anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I would just, give it another go.
But yeah, what else non-spoilery could we say?
The art style is awesome. The music's great. Sound effects are cool. The one scene where, this isn't even a spoiler, but the one scene where he cracks the whip and that monster explodes, I literally burst out laughing because that's how it happens in the games. Yeah. You hit the monster with a whip and they just blow up.
Anytime he's using the whip is really awesome.
Yeah. It's bad. The action's awesome. It's good. Like, it's super well done, well acted, all well put together in this nice little tight package, and it sucks that there isn't more of it.
Animation wise, it feels a lot like me to the Avatar series, like Avatar: The Last Airbender,
which I love.
Legend of Korra, both great. It's a lot more adult than either of those. I would not recommend showing your kids this stuff.
No,
unless you want your kids to know about like banging a bunch of chicks, and because the one dude talks about banging ladies or something. And the guy in the bar.
Well, but even that, but all the violence that's in it
super
too.
Violent,
like
super gory.
It surprised me when a few things happen especially with Trevor and his whip. But it's pretty good. Any other thoughts, Brian?
I'm just ready to spoil it.
All right. Spoiler Terry starts now for Castlevania. When Alucard gets his jacket, that was fucking awesome. It put a huge smile on his face because you see the yellow line, like the
man,
army-ish yellow lines on the black jacket, and I was like, oh my god,
he's
that's
such a
badass.
Awesome. He's such a badass.
And that entire fight,
when he's with the sword and just like
it's spot
so
on.
Good. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
I do like the callbacks to the game, him throwing out like a little dagger here and there, or even the time where he like item crashes it and throws it at like 5 different guys at once.
It was so good.
That was pretty sweet. And the magic effects from Sypha are pretty sweet. But yeah, no, I'm excited for a lot more.
I want to watch like seasons upon seasons of this.
I'm bummed that the bishop died.
The bishop was super creepy.
He was super creepy and a total asshole, and it kind of sucks that he's just like
he kind of reminded me of Uncle Ruckus from the Boondocks.
But he like, I don't know. I guess they have room to like bring him back as something because they kind of talk about how
he's gonna come back as Shaft.
Sure,
from the game.
That's entirely possible. Yeah,
I bet. From Symphony of the Night.
Yeah.
Shaft's a character, dude. He was a bishop, if I'm not mistaken.
I loved in the first episode the blood raining from the sky when they were out.
Oh yeah, they're all standing there,
and
then it just starts pouring blood, a la Blade. In the bloodbath scene in Blade, the first Blade movie.
I
love that.
Really enjoy the show's total disdain for religion and Christianity in particular.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
Like they certainly don't pull any punches, but the idea of
they nail it. They nailed it.
the idea that the show's gonna be about like who's the bigger monster, actually I care about it more so than I do in like The Walking Dead or anything else, because I feel for Dracula. Like they killed your wife because she was practicing science, and they're too stupid to realize that.
It, yeah.
Yeah, I liked how that put everything in context and just didn't make it seem like, oh, Dracula's just being an asshole, killing off humanity for no reason.
Which I feel like is something that most of the games didn't bother to take the time to do. Like,
well, if you're gonna make a more mature show, you kind of have to have that.
Maybe they. Well, I mean, if you think about it, those games didn't have. I mean, I can't recall all the way back to like the last time I played Castlevania 3, but like they didn't have a ton of like story sequence.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually just like a wall of text at the beginning of the game.
Yeah, and then you go in the game and you're killing monsters and killing bosses and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, but I enjoy that it's got some actual depth to it, which, once again, is things that I don't think people would expect out of like an animated series.
Right. Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, that's what I didn't expect about Avatar. Like, I thought Avatar, excuse me, just seeing the screenshots I had seen and seeing that it popped up in my Netflix feed at some point, I was like, well, whatever. It's a Nickelodeon show. Like, I'm probably never going to watch this. Yeah. And then I was just bored one day, and I was like, I feel like watching cartoons. So I put it on, and I was like, this is the best cartoon I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I've never seen that one.
It's great.
I highly recommend Avatar.
It's a little hard to watch nowadays because it's like it came out at a time where it was on that hump of 4:3 or 16:9, and like the animation isn't particularly clean until the later seasons. But it's still definitely worth watching.
It's just well done.
Yeah.
I mean, the voice acting's awesome, and it was done by guys who worked on Family Guy, if I'm not mistaken.
It was like a big brain trust of several different animated,
and they did an amazing job. It's funny and it's action packed and it's interesting and a cool concept. And shame on M. Night Shyamalan for fucking that up in the theaters. But
there's definitely some funny stuff in.
Castlevania. Castlevania's funny as hell too.
I really laughed at that part at the end, like where Alucard's fighting
Trevor,
Johnny Depp, and
Jack Sparrow,
and he tries to punch him in the nut or kick him in the nuts or something. He's like, this isn't a bar fight.
Yeah.
That was good. The gore is incredible. When you see that monster just dismember that dude and intestines are everywhere.
I like when Trevor knocks that dude's eyeball out. It just flies and hits
sticks to the wall or whatever.
That's
pretty gross. I like the when Trevor kind of sets up like the battlement out on the streets with all the people who are.
Yeah, that was a really cool scene.
And having them impale the strategery that he uses is great. Just impaling the monster and then they go in and just totally take it apart. That was really sweet.
Yeah, and they're like, "Why should we listen to you?" And he's like, I'm the only one who's done this before or whatever. Yeah. And
fair enough.
I don't have a really good Jack Sparrow impression.
I mean, I wonder. I can't remember.
Bloom an onion.
I feel like I read somewhere that he's only planning on 2 seasons, which kind of bums me out. But also, I'm like, I don't know where they could go past 8 episodes that they're going to do for this next season. You start
bringing in Symphony of the Night, or you bring in what was Super Castlevania 4?
That would be cool if they kind of moved
just go
through
through
Belmont.
the series. Especially, I mean, anything involving Richter and Alucard's relationship is cool. Because they're friends. It wasn't.
Yeah.
Alucard started out as an opponent in the earlier Castlevanias, and then the Belmont clan became friendly with Alucard. So that I want to see that developed, and I'd like to see plus Symphony of the Night. Everything about Symphony of the Night is great, and that to see that animated would just be awesome. Plus, I want them to bring back that metal music that plays when you're up in the clock tower. It starts with the guitar squeal, and then you just starts ripping.
That's
so
the thing
good.
is that they actually there were a few times where I was like, man, because that this is I figured that they were building towards the introduction of Alucard at the end of this, and I was like, if they threw some Symphony of the Night music in here, I would have such a boner right now. It would be, it's that music is it's fucking awesome. Good.
That soundtrack's incredible.
Even though the music in this is pretty good, I feel like the Symphony of the Night stuff would just be so phenomenal, especially as they move through different parts of the castle and stuff like that.
You know what I'm hoping to hear in a few minutes?
That's through the Marble Hall.
Oh yeah. Do. Yeah. This is just John and I sing Castlevania songs back and forth.
Yeah.
This is where you delay Brian from watching Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the music I would like to hear real soon. Is the opening credit music for Game of Thrones.
That's good.
Yeah. Anyways, we're pretty much done, I think. We loved Castlevania. We want more.
Yep.
Hopefully we'll get some, a whole bunch more, but so far we're only guaranteed another 8 episodes.
That is definitely better than the 4.
Yeah.
It's twice as many.
I was really surprised that it was only 4, I would really be interested in understanding what takes them so long.
Well, hand drawing everything for one.
Well, they're not hand drawing everything.
Well,
though.
It's a Konami franchise. What did you expect?
Yeah.
They got to wrestle it away from Konami so Konami doesn't ruin it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's the thing. Season 2 probably won't even happen.
They're trying to get Kojima on it, is what they're trying to do. But he's too busy. He's too busy putting his friends in goofy outfits for Death Stranding.
Yeah, that's true.
So, anyways, Alex, what else is going on with the network? What's
Gone to Texas is in full swing. We're about 30% of the way through the season. I think there's been 4 episodes so far. It's quite good. Tomorrow's episode 5. We'll have episode 5 of Gone to Texas out on Tuesday. Please make sure you check that out. The Horror Movie Yearbook guys just put out an episode last week about the year of... My phone just died.
Your phone died.
So I'm going to go to horrormovieyearbook.com, just like everybody here should do, to listen to Horror Movie Yearbook. And they did the year of 1980. They talked about movies such as
Terror Train, Unsung Villains in Slasher Cinema.
Terror Train, He Knows You're Alone, and Friday the 13th. So if you've enjoyed our Friday the 13th talk on here, you might enjoy the people who inspired me to love the series.
This segment,
discussing it.
Siskel and Ebert could be jerks.
That sounds like a real Tim segment right
That's
there.
That's going to be a good one.
I'm excited.
That's going to be a good rant.
I'm excited to listen to it.
I need to catch up. I've been so busy listening to that Destiny Ghost Stories podcast so I can get all my Destiny lore fixed before they change it all.
Yep.
Yeah, it's. I haven't really listened to Horror Movie Yearbook in a while.
I
admit. I do like listening to it though, but most of the time I haven't seen most of the movies they talk about.
I haven't seen.
But I just think like they're funny and they're fun to listen to.
They're two of the people that are the best at making me care about things that I give no shits about. Because I don't care about horror at all, but I can listen to Willie and Tim talk about it for hours. And I do on horrormovieyearbook.com. So everybody go there, check it out.
Did they do 97 yet or no? I don't remember.
I'm not sure.
Going back
they did
95.
Right
I know they did 95. I don't see 97. They did 98.
Yeah, I don't think they've done 97 yet.
87. Okay. Because I got a good story for them for 97.
All right. Yeah, they haven't ruled out going back to certain years as well, but
They definitely should, because there are some movies that they've skipped in some of the years that they did that I was like, I think they should talk about.
Yeah, I think once they start getting towards the end of how far back they want to go, they'll probably start doing more. But yeah, Horror Movie Yearbook is good. Gone to Texas is great. Sounds like we're gonna get some Westworld next year, which is exciting. Westworld will be back, and that's about it. There may be a film that's on the horizon.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Don't talk about it or it won't happen.
Yeah. So
just
do you have a movie in mind, or
yes,
you don't want to?
Planet of the Apes.
No. Well, that's the thing. This month is nuts. We had Baby Driver. Edgar Wright's Baby Driver came out in June. That was great, and I'd love to talk about it with some people. The Big Sick came out with Kumail Nanjiani from Silicon Valley. It's one of the best movies I've seen this year. Spider-Man Homecoming came out. War of the Planet of the Apes came out. Christopher Nolan's got a movie called Dunkirk coming out this Friday.
Oh, yeah.
And the one that I think we're going to make the episode for mainly is The Dark Tower out on August 4th.
Ah, yeah.
So
you should just do a summer movie wrap-up episode.
Yeah, we might. It's going to be it'll be something like that, but we have a lot of fans out there that really love The Dark Tower, so I think we're going to do like a full review of that and then kind of touch on all the other stuff that we enjoyed.
Right.
Cool,
man.
That's it.
If you want to follow us on social media or see all the places you can listen to or watch the show, check out MidwestGameNerds.com/links. And as always, please do send us feedback at MidwestGameNerds@gmail.com. Let us know what you like about the show or what you don't. Definitely suggest games you think we should play or things you want to hear from us, opinions, blah, 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 that whole bit. And don't forget to follow us on Twitch when it works. Because it's not right now. And don't forget to rate and review us on your favorite podcatcher. I'm not sure what we're going to do for the next episode, but we'll probably announce it.
We'll definitely talk about our Destiny 2 beta impressions.
Destiny 2 beta impressions for sure. So, but yeah.
Oh, and Splatoon 2.
In case you haven't gotten enough Destiny, there's more coming.
We're going to give you more.
So there you go. That's probably mostly Splatoon, I would say.
I suppose, yeah. Splatoon.
Are you
Destiny
kidding me?
2.
You think you guys are going to talk more about Splatoon than Destiny?
No,
he's just saying he's saying those two things.
As far as new games coming out that we're going to play,
those two will be the episode most likely.
That's fair.
So, yeah, fair
2
enough.
and 2.
Yep. 2. It'll be the Deuce episode.
Yep.
Anyways, thanks again.
Episode 66, the Deuce episode.
Yep. Thanks again for joining us, everybody. We really appreciate it, and we'll catch you next time. Peace.